Check the focus of your projector lens. This test pattern should appear sharp and clear at the center as well as in all four corners of the screen. Control so that the sound can be heard in all parts of the room. Immediately following this announcement, you will see a flash and hear a beep. These should happen at the same time. If you heard the beep before you saw the flash, make the bottom loop longer. If you heard the beep after you saw the flash, make the bottom loop shorter. If your projector is set, let's try it again. Your film is now ready to be shown. Carl Wilhelm lives in the city of Duisburg on the Ruhr River in West Germany. From the riverbank, he can watch barges and ships, which haul the endless stream of raw materials and machinery that help to make West Germany an industrial giant. On the north side of the river, for as far as he can see, the shore is crowded with factories, steel mills, and rail yards. The air is heavy with smoke and rings with the sounds of industry. This is a dynamic, exciting place for young Carl to live, and there are special benefits to make up for the unpleasant smoke and noise of the factories. Carl's father, a steel worker, makes high wages, so the family can afford to live in a handsome, modern apartment building. The shopping centers and stores of Duisburg and the other nearby industrial cities are well stocked with fine clothing and furniture. The families of most factory workers can afford to buy television sets, washing machines, and modern refrigerators. Carl Wilhelm will probably have a bright future, because this is a land of great opportunity for workers and businessmen. Its factories and mills are among the busiest and most prosperous in the world. How has West Germany become such an important industrial giant? To answer that question, we must understand something of the character of the people and the country in which they live. Germany is located near the center of Europe. It is a divided country. East Germany has become a communist satellite. West Germany, or the Federal Republic of Germany, is free and self-governed. Although West Germany is considerably smaller in area than the state of Montana, it is the home of 57 million people and is, therefore, the most populous nation in Europe. The northern third of the country is a broad plain more than 100 miles wide. Moving southward, the plain gives way to the hills and valleys of the central uplands, culminating in the Bavarian Alps to the south. These spectacular mountains attract millions of foreign visitors each year, and German vacationers find the quiet spas and tourist resorts a pleasant contrast to the din of their smoke-filled industrial cities to the north. Southern Germany is storybook Germany, a land of medieval cities. Ancient Bavarian castles, and the legendary slopes of the Black Forest. The highlands in the southern and central part of the country are intensively cultivated with grain and vegetables. This farm family is harvesting hay to feed their cattle during the winter months. Their livestock is important because most of the family's income is earned from dairy products. Everyone in the family must help in the fields at harvest time. Because the farms are very small, none of the hay or grain can be wasted. Even the slopes are used because there is a shortage of farmland in West Germany. The farmhouses in the highlands are often a combination of barn and house. In winter, the cattle are kept inside on the ground floor while the family lives upstairs. Here in the Alps, there are also many small handcraft industries. One of them is a violin maker's shop in Mittenwald.
I am an apprentice violin maker. The making of fine musical instruments is an exacting craft. It will take years for me to learn to make a violin that I can be truly proud of. But we take great pride in doing a job well. We apprentices are taught our trade by master craftsmen. They will settle for nothing less than perfection. It is not surprising that we fashion musical instruments here, for my country has a great heritage of music. This is the land of the masters, Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, Handel, Mendelssohn, Wagner, and many others.
Most Germans still love music of all kinds. In Munich, southern Germany's largest city, polka bands can be heard daily at the famous beer gardens. Some of the breweries in this ancient city have been making beer for more than 700 years. Munich's university is attended by 30,000 students. This city is also the home of several ornate theaters and churches, famed for their Rococo style of architecture. Its technical museum is the largest in the world, tracing Germany's long history of technical skills, which are more evident than ever in Munich's modern factories. The motion picture cameras built in this factory are renowned for their fine optical systems and precision workmanship. Other important manufacturing centers are located to the west of Munich, in the Rhine Valley. The river Rhine rises in the Alps and flows northward along the western edge of Germany. Wherever a tributary joins the Rhine, bustling trade and manufacturing cities have developed. Mannheim, Mainz, Koblenz, and Bonn. The Rhine is the most important river in all Europe and one of the most beautiful. Between Mainz and Koblenz, the banks of the Rhine are green with grapevines, first introduced hundreds of years ago by the Romans. Today, the Rhine wines made from these grapes are a valuable export. Imposing fortresses overlook the river at many points. Built in medieval days to collect tolls from passing boats, although the Rhine has a long and colorful history of knights in armor, fairy tales, and legends, its real importance to Germany has always been as an artery of trade. One of the best-known cities served by the barges of the Rhine is Bonn, the capital of the Federal Republic of Germany. The chief executives of the government reside in this city, and the parliament meets here in the Bundeshaus. Outside Bonn, the steep banks of the Rhine flatten into broad plains as the river moves north to merge with the Ruhr River. Here is perhaps the greatest single concentration of heavy industry in the world. This factory complex stretches for 30 miles along the north shore of the Ruhr. From Duisburg, where the Rhine and Ruhr join, east through Essen, Bochum, and Dortmund, 11 million people live and work in the valley of the Ruhr. West Germany is one of the most highly industrialized nations on earth. The focal point of its industry is the Ruhr Basin. Here, mines, mills, and factories produce $25 billion worth of goods a year. How did this small section of the country develop into such an industrial giant? Manufacturing first developed here because of the water power from the Ruhr River. But the area really expanded when coal deposits were found. The Ruhr coal fields are the biggest and most important in Western Europe. With modern methods, the miners are now able to extract 400,000 tons of coal a day from these mines, and there are reserves enough to last for another 400 years. Although coal is the basis for some of the largest Ruhr industries, it now faces stiff competition from imported oil and other petroleum products. The chemical industry has always depended on coal as both a fuel and a raw material because Germany lacks a wide variety of natural resources. The country is rich in salt, coal, and potash. From these limited resources, West Germany has built the largest chemical manufacturing industry in the world outside of the United States. Much of the credit for this success must be given to the scientists. They have pioneered chemical research ever since the Berlin Academy of Science was formed 250 years ago. This chemist, employed by a large company in the Ruhr Valley, continues the work.
As research director, my job is to find new and better ways to use the few materials we have in abundance. We've discovered much already. From coal and coal tar, we have learned to produce synthetic rubber. In fact, we invented synthetic rubber. And in our laboratories, we have found methods of using coal tar in manufacturing plastics, synthetic textiles, liquid fuels, and dyes. My company alone makes 3,500 different dyes out of coal tar. We even use coal tar in making aspirin and other pharmaceuticals. The fertilizer and other products that we make from potash are exported all over the world. From salt, we make bleaches and acids. The chemical business is important to us. In fact, next to products made of steel, chemicals are our most valuable export.
Because of the blazing furnaces of its iron and steel mills, the Ruhr Valley has been called the forge of West Germany. These steelworks in Essen and the other Ruhr cities have made West Germany the biggest steel producer in Western Europe. Although West Germany has excellent supplies of coal and trained steelworkers, it lacks big deposits of iron ore, a basic ingredient in steel making, so it must import iron ore from other countries. In return, it exports coking coal for use in the foreign steel mills. Much of the Ruhr's raw steel is turned into finished products at nearby factories. This locomotive plant is typical of a heavy Ruhr industry. One modern locomotive may require 150,000 pounds of steel. But finished products such as locomotives and trucks can be sold overseas for far more than the steel used in them. And the West German manufacturers find that foreigners are eager to buy their well-made steel products. Another big user of Ruhr steel is the automobile industry. This new automobile plant in Bochum is partly owned by Americans. Many of the automobiles manufactured in West Germany can be sold locally because the people have the money to buy such products. West Germany also has good transportation systems for moving manufactured goods to the other countries on the continent. Long caravans of trucks stream in and out of the Ruhr on a network of superhighways called autobahns that link all of the nation's major cities. Every day, more than 4,000 trains rumble across the Ruhr Basin, shuttling goods and passengers from city to city. But for moving the sheer bulk of products and materials of the Ruhr's industries, the Rhine River is unsurpassed. 40,000 barges and ships of many nations move up and down the Rhine with loads of coal, iron ore, oil, grain, timber, potash, and steel products. The city of Duisburg, at the junction of the Rhine and the Ruhr, is the busiest inland port in all Europe. From Duisburg, the Rhine swings northwest, carrying the barges into the huge international seaport of Rotterdam in the Netherlands. Canals and rivers link the Ruhr with West Germany's own seaports, Bremerhaven and Hamburg. Hamburg, with a population approaching 2 million, is the country's second largest city. As many as 20,000 ships call at Hamburg each year, picking up cargoes of finished products and unloading vast supplies of raw materials and food. Food is especially critical because West Germany can't grow enough to feed its 57 million people and must import thousands of tons each year. But its valuable exports more than pay for the imports. Hamburg is also the home of some of the nation's largest shipyards. With her great supply of steel and skilled workers, West Germany now ranks second only to Japan as the largest shipbuilder in the world. Many of these giant vessels are sold to the developing nations of Africa and South America. The land around Hamburg is a flat glaciated plain. The one crop that farmers are able to raise in abundance in this sandy soil is potatoes. Where the soil is too poor to raise food crops, the people have planted trees to supply lumber and wood pulp. Along the northern edge of the central highlands is a belt of very fertile soil. This fine topsoil, called loess, blew down from the north and was trapped at the foot of the hills and mountains. Here the land yields good harvests. There are broad fields of wheat and barley and rich vegetable gardens. But even in the heart of West Germany's best farmland, industry dominates the scene. For example, Wolfsburg, a rather small city in the fertile farm belt, is the home of one of the largest companies in the world, the biggest automobile manufacturer outside of the United States. This company produces nearly 1.5 million automobiles each year. These little cars have become a familiar sight in even the most remote areas of the world. But just a few miles east of thriving Wolfsburg is the East German border. Beyond this border, only the western sector of Berlin remains free. Berlin, previously the capital of Germany, is a divided city. East Berlin is controlled by the communists, so the free residents of West Berlin are surrounded by the Iron Curtain. Only a few jealously guarded corridors connect them with West Germany. West Berlin, with nearly 2.25 million residents, is the largest city of West Germany. It has been completely rebuilt since the Second World War. Much of its architecture is strikingly modern. Its free university enrolls students from almost every nation on earth. There are shopping districts rivaling those of New York and Chicago. But this city is probably most significant to all the people of West Germany and to the entire world because of the Berlin Wall. This concrete and steel barricade is a symbol of the political division of the entire country. Armed guards patrol the eastern side of the wall, which was built by communist authorities to prevent people from escaping into the western sector of the city. Here, the people continue to prosper as their businesses and factories thrive and grow. West Berlin, and indeed all of the Federal Republic of Germany, is truly an industrial giant.